Hey there, I'm Kat Ebling and this is Nutrition Watchdog. I want to talk today about something that I know I've personally dealt with, and I bet a lot of you have too. I'm talking about hair loss and thinning hair. Now, with aging comes some degree of hair loss or thinning for most of us, for men and women. While we may not all go bald, we can lose a significant amount of hair after the age of 40 or so. And for women, this often ties into fluctuating hormones and can be especially distressing because hair is one of those things that's important to women. I want to talk about some of the reasons for hair loss and what you can do about it because it's not just genetics. So let's talk about genes versus hormones. One of the most common reasons for baldness is androgenic alopecia. That means male pattern baldness or female pattern baldness. The hormone involved is a form of testosterone, and half the men over the age of 50 and about half the women over the age of 65 have this form of hair loss. So you can see it's pretty common. One study found that females with progressive hair loss had a strong connection to low thyroid and high blood pressure. And low levels of vitamin D were also noted. So while most people blame hair loss on their genes, hormonal imbalances and nutrition can also be involved. In fact, many health professionals are beginning to say that a lot of hair loss can be tied to diet, nutrition, stress, and other factors as well. The good news is this means that you can control some degree of hair loss. So let's talk more about hormonal imbalances, one of the big reasons for hair thinning or hair loss. Hormonal imbalances most definitely come into play when it comes to hair for men and women as we get older. Hormones fluctuate. And hormones that affect hair loss include an imbalance in estrogen in relationship to testosterone levels in women. And for men, it can have to do with testosterone levels. But after menopause for women, levels of progesterone and estrogen decrease significantly. Estrogen is known for its effect on hair growth and volume. And P.S. ladies, if you've ever been pregnant, you may remember how thick and fast your hair grew. That had to do with the hormones that were present in your body. Women also have testosterone, and when the testosterone is too high and the estrogen drops, it can cause your hair to thin. Another hormone that affects hair growth is thyroid hormone. Again, this can be for men and women. Low levels of thyroid hormone can cause hair loss and slow hair growth. And one thing to note, when women approach menopause, progesterone drops very low. When progesterone drops really low, it affects your thyroid function and it slows it down. And then that can cause hair loss. Women who take supplemental hormones can also have a problem with too much testosterone or an imbalance with testosterone and estrogen. And one other overlooked hormone that is not looked at very often is insulin. Insulin resistance can cause a loss of hair in both men and women, and hair loss can actually be a symptom of diabetes. Excess cortisol, which is your stress hormone, can also contribute to hair loss. So what about diet and nutrition? What you eat, and if you have any dietary deficiencies, can definitely affect your hair. It can cause excess hair loss, hair breakage, and slow hair growth. Some of the most important nutrients that affect hair growth include things like iron. Iron deficiency or anemia can really cause issues with your hair. And guess what? Vegans and vegetarians often comment on hair loss because they're not getting enough iron. A zinc shortage also affects how your body creates protein and will definitely affect hair growth. Not only does a zinc deficiency cause hair loss, but can make your hair weak and break off easily. And again, I'm sorry to say, but vegetarians and vegans are often short in zinc because zinc is found in meat. Selenium is another important mineral which is important for your thyroid function. So low selenium will affect your hair growth. And deficiencies in B vitamins, especially biotin, can make your hair thin or break easily. And this often happens in people who have gluten issues or trouble absorbing. And too much alcohol can also cause a B vitamin deficiency and affect your hair. Vitamin D also affects your hair follicles. Low levels of vitamin D can cause hair to thin or even stop growing. And this can happen from not enough sun exposure, obesity, getting your gallbladder removed, and other issues with digesting fat. Vitamin A hair follicles affects hair follicles too, but too much vitamin A can cause hair loss. And finally, hair is made mostly of protein, so getting too little protein can affect your hair and cause hair loss. And again, sorry vegetarians and vegans, but this is a big problem with too little protein. So eating a diet rich in animal-based protein, healthy fats, and fresh vegetables should keep your body and nutrients in balance, but you can take supplements as well. And finally, one other thing I want to talk about is your health status. Anyone who has heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or thyroid issues, or even autoimmune diseases can have problems with hair loss. Also, people who have GI problems. And one other health condition I want to mention is whether or not you had COVID. COVID is known to trigger hair loss. And it doesn't matter if you have a bad case or a mild case, it can still affect it. And it often happens about 3 to 6 months later, so you may not connect it. But your hair will grow back. Hair loss is common if you've also had serious illnesses, a surgery, or any kind of physical trauma. So get a good balance of B vitamins, zinc, selenium, vitamin D, and protein, and that'll help you grow a healthy head of hair. There's also things like rosemary essential oil, omega-3s, coconut oil, and other nutrients that are good for growth. And there's prescription drugs like Rogaine or Propecia. Hair is an outward expression of your body's health in addition to your skin. If your skin or your hair don't look good, something may be out of balance in your body. So what about you? What's been your experience with hair loss? Did you lose hair if you had COVID? Have you experienced other health conditions that cause hair loss? I know for me, I had COVID last summer and I'm still experiencing thinner hair and some breakage. On top of all that, I had a bad haircut, so it made everything worse. It's finally recovering, but I want to hear about your experiences, and I hope to see you soon. I'm Kat Ebling. This is Nutrition Watchdog.